after the food is partially digested in the stomach, now the food enters the next part of the digestive system, that is the small intestine. So you can see the food entering into the small intestine. Now let us study something about the small intestine. Small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. When I say large, how large? It is about 5 to 6 meters. And it is fitted into a compact space in our belly by extensive coiling. Now when I say belly, it means the abdomen, and extensive coiling means there are a lot of twists and turns. So you can see in the figure that the small intestine is a highly coiled structure, and it is placed inside the belly in a very compact space because of this extensive coiling. Now students, actually the small intestine is longer than the large intestine. Then we will wonder as to why it is called as the small intestine. That is because it has a smaller diameter, but the length is longer than the large intestine. And it is this small intestine where carbohydrates, fats and proteins are fully digested. Now digestion of food in the small intestine requires alkaline medium. We saw that in stomach the digestion of food required acidic medium, but here it is opposite. It requires alkaline medium. So the food received from the stomach now first has to be made alkaline. How does this happen? Let us see. Once the food enters the small intestine, you can see the liver and the gallbladder. Now what happens is, the liver, which is the largest gland in the body, secretes a juice which is called as the bile juice. And this bile juice is stored inside the gallbladder. So you can see the liver secreting the bile juice which is stored in the gallbladder. Now whenever the food enters the small intestine, the gallbladder releases bile juice into it through a duct. So you can see the gallbladder releasing bile juice through a duct, that is a pipe in the small intestine. Now the function of the bile juice is, the bile juice makes the food alkaline so that the food can be further digested. So it creates an alkaline pH. Not only that, the bile juice also breaks down the large fat globules into smaller ones so that this increases the action of enzymes. And this process of breaking down of fats into smaller globules is called as emulsification of fats. So you can see the large fat globules broken down into smaller ones with the help of bile juice. Now after this, the pancreas, they secrete the pancreatic juice. So you can see the pancreas giving out the pancreatic juice. Now one very important thing to note here is that the bile juice and the pancreatic juice, they enter the small intestine together through a common duct. So you can see the bile juice and the pancreatic juice entering the small intestine through a common duct. Now let us see the next step of digestion. The pancreatic juice has 3 digestive enzymes. The first one is trypsin. Trypsin digests proteins into amino acids. So you can see proteins, when they come in contact with trypsin, they are digested into amino acids. The second juice is an enzyme called lipase. Now lipase, it digests the fats into fatty acids. So whenever fats come in contact with lipase, they are digested into fatty acids. And the third enzyme is the enzyme called pancreatic amylase. Now pancreatic amylase, it digests the carbohydrates finally into glucose. So whenever carbohydrates comes in contact with pancreatic amylase, it is digested into glucose. So finally, the complex food, that is carbohydrates, fats and proteins, are converted to simple food, that is carbohydrates into glucose, fats into fatty acids and proteins into amino acids. thus the food is completely digested in the small intestine.